Hey everyone, and welcome to it used to be the COBE cast, but we're changing our name to something a little bit more on brand. So stay tuned. Until then, I'm Joe, the photo video guy here at the College of Business and Economics at Boise State. This is the place where we go beyond the classroom to explore research and various topics of interest to business students and beyond. Today, I'm joined by Kevin Rank, a lecturer in our Department of IT Management and an AI fellow here at COBE. Kevin Rank is an alumnus of Boise State and has spent the last several decades working in IT. He came back to Boise State nearly 8 years ago to impart his knowledge. In 2023, he set up a COBE AI brown bag community where he facilitates AI conversations across campus. He's here today to talk about AI in business. So Kevin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, we tried to do this over 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Had some technical difficulties. Spun some things up, made some upgrades. And I'm glad we're back. Thank you for being flexible. Thank you for coming back into the studio to do this. And the nice thing is, even though it's been 2 months, at the rate at which AI moves, things are different.
Yes.
So it's not the same conversation.
Not at all.
We've had a couple AI brown bags between then and now. Lots of updates, ChatGPT-5, lots of things have changed, and so I'm excited to talk about those things. First, I'd like to get to know you a little bit better, for people listening to get to know you a little bit better. We got a brief introduction to you if anybody's seen the onboarding video. If you haven't, we'll link that. In that, Kevin, Stephen Hyde, Dan Rush, all AI enthusiasts here at COBE, kind of break down how we should go about thinking about AI in an academic setting. So go check that out if you haven't. In that, you demonstrated several ways that you can utilize tools through ChatGPT, Notebook LM, and I think Gemini used that as well. For those who haven't seen that video, please introduce yourself, describe what it is you do here at COBE.
Okay. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. We had a good conversation last time. I actually was playing with some of the little AI toys that I've got.
I'm excited to talk about those again.
Yeah, and I before this, we were discussing this, and I've got the summary of the last time we were able to look over that. So anyhow, a little bit about me. I'm an IT guy. That's kind of how I've always viewed myself.
Yeah.
I started working in IT at the age of 21, though I was a major computer enthusiast long before that. And I've been working in throughout Boise, Albertsons, Idaho Power for a short stint, and my last job was at Idaho Public Television as an IT guy, and I did a lot of analytics there. So I basically describe myself as an IT guy. I ended up getting my degree later in life, and I got a high enough degree that I can now teach. So now I teach in ITM as well. I teach our business intelligence class. I teach in the summer. I teach our spreadsheet class. And the newest class that I'm teaching is our generative AI projects class, ITM 370, which is really the first class that focused on generative AI in our university. I've been blessed that we've got an amazing set of leadership here that have been very AI pro AI, very positive on it.
Yeah.
So it's allowed me to learn this technology really well. So, my journey has been throughout IT. So that's where I like to talk about, kind of where I come from. And I've spent, a career doing that. But, I have other interests. I'm also, I like technology. I do a lot of 3D printing. I actually have a 3D printer farm at home and a website dedicated to it. I've now have a website dedicated to AI. These are interests that I have.
Yeah.
I've done web development a big part of my life, search engine optimization. So I have a lot of these skills that seem to just snowball as time goes on and build up, and they're very interrelated. So that's been very helpful as well. So
I want to talk more about that, but that immediately leads me into thinking about, I've been in your office. We've had enough conversations that I've kind of, you're this person who's always been seemingly quick to adopt technology.
Yes.
You just have a general fascination with it. You've got some relics in your office. And you've seen the last 30 years or more of tech evolve, and you've been kind of immersed in every bit of it along the way. Yeah. I just think that's super fascinating.
Yeah, like my first computer I got at age 12, and back in the mid 80s, almost nobody had computers. So I've had a computer since age 12, and it's kind of interesting because while I am Gen X, my wife's, millennial, and I actually fit with her kind of generation a lot better, because one of the defining characteristics of the millennial is that whole technology, growing up with the technology basically being around you at all times. And even though the technology was not where it was, for her generation, I was still using it from about the same age she was. I was on the internet from about the same age she was, but back then it was a lot harder to use. So you had to be very technical to use it, which lent, into my interest and allowed me to get my career that I have, because I was interested in the technology. My first computer I ever owned is down in my office. It's an old...
Yeah, you showed that to me.
Yeah, it's a TRS-80 Model 100. It's an early laptop.
Yeah.
It still runs.
I'm going to put a picture of that on the screen, the TRS-80.
Yeah, Model 100.
Oh, man. When did this thing come out?
I think in the early 80s.
1983.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. And it's a sight to behold. The monitor on that is... Somebody's photoshopped a picture here of the Windows screen.
It ran Microsoft.
Really?
It was an early version of a Microsoft operating system. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
It's fascinating, but it makes sense then how all of these life experiences and these general interests have culminated into what you do now.
Oh, yeah.
Into really helping students do what you've always done.
Yeah.
And in... you have a very pragmatic approach to you're being enthusiastic about new technology while also asking questions, while also acknowledging where these shortfalls are. And I think that's something, as technology evolves, students, myself included, need a guide like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in my generative AI class today, every semester I have about 2 to 3 days, depending on how big the class is, where we just talk about topics. I have 15 different topics, from politics and AI to environment and AI to different ways of using it. We have all these different topics and we just discuss it. The way that I explain to my students is, they're 21, 22 right now. They're gearing up to go into the business world, within 6 months to 2 years, the ones that I'm teaching. They're going to have AI integrated into their work for their entire lives. I will, if things work out right, I'll be retiring in 15 years or so. And, it's only a short period of time that it's really going to be affecting me.
Right.
For them, it's their whole life. And I try to explain to them, I really want them to be aware of all these topics and start thinking about it now, because it is going to impact their entire life going forward.
And it's one of those things that's not optional.
No, the genie's out of the bottle.
You can feel a certain way about it, of course. There's totally practical, valid feelings about AI in terms of being a little skeptical, maybe being a little intimidated. But it's there, and it's going. It's not like this thing you get handed in a class, and you're just like, that's not for me.
Yeah, no. Technology is a double-edged sword. No matter where you go back, we can go back to the printing press. How many people were laid off? Scribes were laid off because printing press. But look at what it brought us, technology-wise.
Right.
The advent of the car saw the end of, for the most part, of farriers. Modern technology with phones. When's the last time you've talked to an operator on the phone?
Right.
And that, I can remember when I was a kid, you'd call up the operator and get what's the current time, and use that to set the VCR in your house or the microwave in your house. Things change over time. The WEF, World Economic Forum, has said, they released a report last year. They've said something like 98 million jobs will be lost because of AI. But on the flip side, they're saying I think it's around 128,000 or 128 million will be created. It will be a net increase, but it still is going to impact a lot of people negatively as they lose their jobs. And we can actually see that happening already. Recently, Accenture just announced layoffs of like 11,000 people because
Right.
of AI. They're not but the thing is, they're not necessarily ending all of those positions. The people are being laid off, but they may be in positions that they can't take advantage of AI properly, or their workflow, they're not learning the workflow the way they want them to reimagine the entire workflow start to end. And they have tried to upskill their people with AI, but for whatever reason, there's a litany of reasons why certain people are being let go, but it is affecting them, and it is because of AI. But it's not necessarily it's not necessarily meaning, or they're not necessarily saying they're not going to be hiring that number back again.
Right.
Klarna is another good example. Probably about a year ago, Klarna was gung ho about using AI to replace their customer service representatives. They were looking at it as a cost cutting measure. Fast forward about, I think, maybe 2 quarters, about 9 months, and they were rehiring a lot of these customer service. Go to find out, people like to talk to people, and for customer service, they discovered that. That's not to say that AI is not a good way for them, or what they're saying is that AI is a good way to maybe make more money, though, that they can use AI to enhance the effectiveness of their customer service people, or in other areas where kind of their views, they were a little short-sighted, just looking at it as a cost-cutting measure instead of this revenue-enhancing measure.
And how much longer before you can't tell it's a robot you're talking to?
Honestly, I think you can do that today. It's really not that hard. If you listen to ChatGPT's advanced voice model, and you can talk to it, and it sounds a lot like a person.
Give it 2 years.
Yeah.
It'll be indecipherable.
Or somebody that's just a little socially awkward. It sounds like somebody that's a little socially awkward, honestly, when you listen to them. It's incredible what voices can do. And then you can look at like 11 Labs. 11 Labs will clone my voice. I actually showed it in Dr. Hyde's class earlier this week, his MBA class. It's actually got a clone of my voice that sounds, I would say it's about 90%, maybe 85% quality of my voice. And I'm using I think I'm using a model that's like 2 generations old. I need to re-record it.
What did you use to create that?
It's a website called 11labs.io.
Okay.
And they're designed around, their whole thing is about audio generation. Now, originally, when I first started using it years ago, so I've started using it before my first AI class that I taught, so that would have been like 2.5 years ago. Back then, it was just voice cloning. It was voice cloning or voice changing. Now it does all that. You can actually use like 30 minutes of good quality audio to clone your voice and sell that for other people to use. It's used for audiobook narration. It can now do music, and it actually does a really good job of creating music. It can create sound effects that, they're okay. That's one of the weaker areas. You can create chatbots that actually do what you're talking about, have a chat conversation. It's got all these capabilities, and all this keeps being added more and more and more. It's kind of incredible what it can do. There's a channel that I listen to on YouTube. The lady that does it, Julia McCoy is her name. Her avatar on it is a Heijin created avatar. And if you don't know that it's AI, you might not realize that it actually is an AI clone of her voice, of her body. Once you know about it and are paying attention, you'll notice certain quirks. But if it was a short video, you may not even ever have noticed those either.
Right. And there's some people have gotten like straight up lazy about it. I've seen. It's funny. I watch YouTube, Instagram, consume all that stuff like everybody else, and I'll see, especially here in like the last month or so, ads where it's like talking heads of people trying to sell something or talk about something. And it's almost like they also whoever created this asked AI to edit it too.
Yeah.
And so there's like awkward gaps where you're just like, this feels like a 6-second Sora thing that got created, and they didn't cut it properly. And then it feels weird. But even for like, and those aren't even created clones. They just ask them like, pick someone with this skin color and this accent and this language to say this.
Honestly,
And this is
it's
what you
probably
get.
HeyGen, honestly.
Yeah. What is it?
Or not HeyGen. Yeah, no, it's HeyGen. It's HeyGen. It's they do cloning. We actually have a class that the instructor for that AI class, we have another AI class that the instructor is actually an AI clone that way. She recorded herself in a studio, and it's full on. Yeah, it's one of the. So we have a certificate. So getting back to the education side, we have a certificate called AI for All. You have to take. There's two they're not prereqs, but there's two classes you have to take. One's a library class, and then one is a philosophy class. Dr. Freire teaches that, amazing guy. My daughter's she's actually getting the certificate, and she's already taken all the classes. And then the third one is an elective, and that particular class is, I think, the only online elective you can take. My ITM 370 class is another one of the electives. So business students can take those two classes, which is 4 credits total, plus my class, and get that AI certificate.
It's not a comfortable thing. I don't enjoy doing it, but it's almost like a professional survival mechanism. And I've been out of jobs before. I think once you get 10, 20 years out of college, you've undergone enough change that you realize change is like the constant in the workforce, and you have to be adaptive to that change to succeed. And so part of that adaptation in this AI world, for me, is constantly evaluating my job and thinking there's someone out there who's learning how to do what I do at their university more efficiently with AI tools. What part of my job is currently being made obsolete by AI, and what thing in the future could be? And like I said, that's not a comfortable thing to do. But
that's very true.
You're not. I think up until AI, you weren't really worried about rapid obsolescence,
right?
And now you kind of have to be.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of a cognitive block when talking to people about this, that they're just like, that sounds. I don't know. People
do not understand exponential growth, exponential. Basically change, and that's what AI is representing.
Well, I don't think we've ever seen. I can't think of anything other than a terrible example, but sourdough rising to give me I've never experienced exponential change in my life.
Yeah,
and I would wager most people haven't at this pace. Usually, it's on the periphery and you can avoid it, but this exponential change is like a tidal wave, and you can't ignore it.
Yeah, and I know that we've seen exponential change because a lot of people talk about it, and I've seen examples, but they didn't really resonate, so I don't remember them. But when you look at AI growth, just the numbers of ChatGPT, they were saying that they're seeing something 800 million new users per week. I forget what the actual number, but the number of tokens that Google Gemini is seeing is some crazy huge number. I would say Gemini, their latest version Gemini model, is pretty close to ChatGPT 5. And really it's just a leapfrogging. I was talking with somebody about this the other day, and it actually might have been you, where, ChatGPT gets version 5. Claude just came out with their new version. Gemini is supposed to, within 2 weeks of today, is supposed to be coming out with their new model. Grok came out with a model a little while ago, and he's already been talking about he being Elon Musk has already been talking about the next model he's been training and working on.
But most of those models have been because negative things have happened with Grok.
There is that. I think that
reel it in. Let's figure out how to.
Yeah, there has definitely been it's been partially that, and then it mostly, honestly, the model does really well. What I've read, I have a Twitter profile that's I forget what it's called, authorized or whatever. It's got the blue check mark. I got it around Christmas because it was half price.
Verified.
Yeah, verified. Yeah. Thank you. And I have access to Grok and I use it from time to time. It's not my favorite model to use, but I know some people swear by it. They love it for programming, a lot of stuff. What it's really good at is if I've got a meme, like a current meme that I do not understand, it will almost every time explain the meme to me and what it's talking about.
I need that.
Oh, there's
I'm
so many
rapidly
things.
aging out of memes.
Yeah, it is so nice. And like there's now a website, which again I don't remember its name. Unfortunately, I just watched a video about it last week. But Meme Lord is what it is, and they will create memes for you, and they keep up basically day to day on what are all the latest like memes that are starting to populate.
There used to be Know Your Meme.
Yeah.
Just look that up and be like, oh, okay, that's Bear Grylls. Or
yeah, but that's slow compared to this. And I think he was talking about, I think he was saying there's like 20 plus memes every day that his site integrates into their service.
Yeah.
It's, again, exponential growth. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So again, Grok is really good at pop culture. It's kind of what I think its niche is. I believe that they had a recent update that actually it's really good, like up to the minute or fairly recent on X posts as well,
right?
Which is really nice, where none of the other models actually can reach in and pull that news out yet,
right?
Where Grok can. So there's certain things like that you can actually kind of keep up with the very breaking news that, even, websites or whatever are going to have some sort of lag where people on Twitter will be talking about it, maybe people at the location, and it will be up to the minute. Mm-hmm. And I think that's an really interesting use case that they have all that information from X.
Yeah.
That's really interesting to see that.
Talking about memes, I saw one a couple days ago referencing, it just had a picture of a data center. It said, save water for your data center. If you're thirsty, they're thirsty.
Yeah. Oh, they use a lot of water. I was looking
so bad.
Yeah, I was looking into that the other day. There's kind of two systems right now. There's the one system uses water. The water comes in, it evaporates, that cools it. The water returns to the environment as vapor. The other model is a closed loop system, where the water, once they get the water in there, it doesn't go to waste. It stays in there. The problem with that model is that it takes more electricity. So we already have this restriction. Electricity, power is going to it's going to continue to be a big issue. But right now, these data centers are trying to, they're running out of power basically. Each of these big data centers,
especially what did you say, 800 million users a day, or
for
tokens
ChatGPT,
or whatever it was?
Yeah,
at
users.
that rate, I can imagine.
But I think like each data center uses about the same amount of power as like a small town.
Yeah,
it's like I think they're like 1 gigawatt is what they're trying to do, and there's talk about like installing these small modular nuclear plants next to them. That way, you don't have degradation of the power as it's transmitted through the lines.
That seems like an obvious. I've got a friend who, right out of high school, he went into nuclear engineering.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, that just seems like a logical place to go when you start running into power restraints.
It seems
you got to get
that
over
way.
all the hurdles of nuclear and all the things associated with that, and 10 Mile Island and all the.
Yeah, all the stuff that happened decades ago, like when I was a little kid.
Yeah. Thinking about nuclear reactors that were built back then, the safety precautions that weren't taken. Yeah.
So, we can do it. We have ways of doing it.
Is it sustainable yet?
Yeah, it's really not, I don't think. But
it's the old analogy of building the car. What is it?
Building an airplane while it's in flying.
Yeah, that whole thing. It's like it's off the ground, but not sure what it is yet. How to keep it up.
Yeah, and we're kind of running into that. The nice thing about AI and the intelligence is that we are actually learning and getting more intelligence faster. So maybe one of these giant data centers is going to come up with maybe the latest and greatest new material that nobody's created before that will allow us to create superconductors at room temperature.
Yeah.
We don't know. I know that there's been a little bit of talk about that already. There's some company, one of my friend Dwight Pond, who's a local gentleman around here that's really into technology, is a former Trinity Health executive. And he sent me a story yesterday about some company that was using light as a computer. Instead of silicone, it's using light. Light doesn't have all the power or the heat issues. Mm-hmm. It's more efficient. It's really interesting. Yeah. And interesting enough, the day before that, I was watching a video where some researchers, I believe in the Netherlands somewhere, had created a quantum computer using photonic light and entanglement to basically do, I think the claim was something like 20 million years of research in 5 minutes. Like just incredible amounts of things that they're able to do.
Yeah.
And I know like Microsoft has their own servers. Google has their own quantum. Quantum takes us into a world that, we think about exponential growth as huge. It's going to take us, basically from where we're at today to 200 years in the future, almost overnight. It's going to when that ever if that ever happens, or when it happens, it's going to be incredible.
So when I hear something like that, I immediately think of, if this is something I've never experienced, that I can't fathom, that is so much more capable than I understand. Mm-hmm. What am I to do with that as I'm trying to develop as a human, as a professional here on the job? Is the real answer just to stay flexible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, really loud there. But yeah, again, going back to the WEF report, they listed a bunch of skills that they view as being kind of the forward-facing skills that are going to be really helpful. One of them is lifetime learning, grit, being able to be able to react to change well. Being able to talk to people is another one. There's a lot. Most of the skills in that were soft skills. Also, some like data analytics, understanding how to analyze data were parts of it. AI obviously type of things, but there was a lot of them that were these soft skills. Like I said, being able to learn, lifetime learning. Realize like when you get done with college, it doesn't mean you're done with education.
Especially now.
Yeah, especially now. Like in the IT world, there's a concept that my circles always talk about, and I've heard other people mention it. In the IT world, information is coming at us so fast. It's like drinking from the fire hose of knowledge. And how much can you drink at any one time?
And even if you want to stop drinking, you really can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't just turn the hose off.
Exactly. That lifetime learning, I think, is going to be. It's always been critical, but I think it's always been really important. But I think it's going to be a critical skill. And how do you choose what to learn as time goes on? I think it's going to be a very critical skill.
What do you think about perpetually feeling behind the curve? Mm-hmm. Like, is that a thing that you should even worry about? Because when I think about, you mentioned data analytics. Mm-hmm. In my head, I'm like, how far away are we from AI getting to the point where it can analyze something and do something actionable in robot form or whatever without needing a human to analyze it?
Technically, we're already there.
Right.
Honestly.
And so when I think about these,
it's how much trust you want to give the AI.
Right. Which, I don't know. My mind goes to all these different places when I think about it.
There is a ranking system of these different AIs, I think around the world, that are running vending machines. So they're taking real world data and running a vending machine business. And there's rankings to see which models, which vending machine are making the most money. So, they start with, they have an investment of some sort of, starting cash.
Okay.
And then the AI, using data analytics, chooses which products to stock, how much to price them for. They make the calls to the vendors to supply the machines. And they run basically that whole business.
Yeah.
And they use, again, data analytics to figure out what should I order. And these are fully autonomous systems.
Yeah.
They tend to kind of not work great after a while. But I actually think that Grok has the best one right now.
So we're talking like inventory management.
Yeah, inventory management, and like I said, pricing.
Yeah.
Maybe not like the marketing side, but definitely the sales side. What are people actually purchasing?
Yeah, and so coming from your neck of the woods, or I guess your department here at COBE, IT and SCM, your background's in IT, but also in the this has obvious implications for supply chain management, because now you're a person who's sitting there not only making trades and managing logistics, but is also like a buyer.
Yeah.
Like that person is going to be impacted. And everyone who has that kind of job. Once AI gets good, because right now you can kind of just wring your hands and say, AI is not super good at that thing yet.
Yeah.
But you're just biding your time.
Yeah. Look at...
And I don't want to get like doom and gloom about it, but like that's where my mind goes.
Think about, I don't know, 3 years ago, the Will Smith video eating spaghetti that is terrifying looking.
Yeah.
I created a Sora video not too long ago, and I'll actually share it for you so you can actually add it to this, of a guy, I was trying to do Will Smith, it wouldn't let me because of, copyright. But it had this guy eating spaghetti that looks natural. And it sounds natural. It's kind of incredible.
Yeah.
Talking, kind of going back to that purchasing. So again, I teach a business intelligence class. It's all about the analytics. And honestly, that's been a big piece of analytics already where, in the supply chain world, we've gone from, I've got a gut instinct that this is what's going to sell, to, if I look over the last few years of sales during these seasons, certain things sell. People right now are buying these. Now let's bring in like social media. What are the trending things? What are people looking at right now? Let's add that to it. So now instead of just having like our business and our location, we're able to look at our business, look at all these other businesses. We're able to bring in all these different streams of data and look at those all at once. And humans are good at pattern recognition, pattern matching, but we're only so good. Computers are a lot better than we are. So they can pull in all this information in near real time and actually understand it and be able to make predictions. We talk about like descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, all these different, these three different kinds of analytics in my one class. We talk about these, and that's really what you're talking about when it comes to supply chain management. What can we build? What is our capacity? A lot of that is based on some sort of analytics, and AI thrives on that kind of data. It really does, and understanding it.
I want to get into, we could riff off different AI things forever, honestly. But I do want to talk about kind of AI in the classroom and your approach. I was talking to Stephen Hyde. He mentioned how most students are coming into college extremely well-versed in the world of AI. They're starting completely autonomous side hustles with AI bots. Now, this isn't a majority of them, but people are learning to, especially this younger generation, learning to utilize AI more efficiently, and more of them are learning to do it than, say, millennials or Gen X. They're creating disposable software to accomplish routine tasks.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, that's I've thought about it, but it still just seems like too big of a task for some reason. How do you meet those students? Like, and we talked about this earlier. Like, you've always kind of been an early adopter in technology, so that probably helps. How do you meet these students where they're at?
So I'm very lucky because I've got a lot of practical experience outside of the classroom. So, and then I've got, my business degree, my MBA. So I'm able to kind of get I'm basically technology meets business is kind of my background, my education. So when students are running into when they're bringing these things around, I can help them with what are the latest AI tools they can use. And I always love seeing what students are doing. Like I've got, last semester I had a student that went into the venture college. I've got a student this semester in my AI class that's in the venture college, which is kind of instead of going for an MBA, they would go into the venture college. And they're both working on basically software and trying to go and, looking at the future and doing that. The one student I had last semester is, one one of our really high rated backs at Boise State. Like really smart guy. He was a really good student. But him and his brother are working on an application for working with NIL athletes, and it's definitely like right up his wheelhouse because that's what he is. He's got the NIL stuff going on with him, and it's still such a new area. And from what I'm understanding or from what I'm hearing, Boise State's actually kind of a leader in this realm. That a lot of he's doing this, but several professors are working with other students, from the business college and stuff to help them market themselves. But this particular student is creating an application, and I know that I got him in contact with a friend of mine from Department of Finance that he's helped him find some possible funding and stuff. It's really interesting it's really kind of exciting to see what they're doing, and I can give them ideas that part of business, and it's really hard when the new thing is out to not just tack it onto everything. Everything is AI now. You don't always need AI. Analytics works amazingly well for what it's good at. So sometimes it's hard to understand not only how to use this new technology, but also people need to be aware when not to use it. I think that's a really big deal.
We talk about AI being a tool a lot of times, but with every other tool, even a Swiss Army knife or a Leatherman, whatever, like it doesn't do everything.
Right.
It tries, and they're learning when to use it and when not to.
Exactly.
It's like the staple of any tool.
Yeah. So I'm able to teach the students and then kind of get them to think about it, instead of just tossing AI to do something, get them to think about, why am I doing this? How is the AI going to help me do that? So I think that's a big part of it, is getting the students to think. So honestly, for me, a big part right now is really just getting students to start using AI correctly. Don't use it as Google search. Oh my God, do not use AI. It is a conversation. It is not a keyword search.
So many people use it like that.
Yeah.
I mean, students are learning, but think about the people. I think about my friends. Like students are. I'm so jealous of students and the tools they have to learn.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like their job is suddenly easier. They just have like kind of but they just like the resources they have, and then I think about my friends and even millennials who didn't grow up being taught how to use this as a resource for education and for efficiency are Google searching and ChatGPT.
Yeah. It's when I started my AI class, the very, very first thing I generated was a video on that concept of AI is a conversation. These are conversation engines. They are not search engines. They're not keyword searches. And to save your keyword search for Google, but we've been trained, 20, I don't know how old Google is, but 20 plus years. Yeah. I was using Alta Vista back in the day, Yahoo. Yeah. Like how, I don't know how long it's been. Yeah. Ask Jeeves. Like all these different tools, it's all been about keyword searches. It wasn't about a conversation that you could have.
Yeah, and there's like all those rules around like capitalize these things and commas, like a language for how to search for things properly.
It's basically a simplified regex using programming search. Yeah. And earlier models were a lot more programming, or they would follow like regex a lot closer. Where at least Google's gotten a little bit more natural language, but it still is very keywordy, where a chat works better when you talk with it. So that's been a big thing of trying to teach students. That. But in general, it's a lot of students don't know what they don't know. So
that's everybody.
Yeah, so
we're all a student in that regard.
So I'm explaining, why would you use an LLM over, say, Notebook LM? Most students come into my AI classroom and they've never heard of Notebook LM. Even in my other non-AI class, my business intelligence class, I have 120 some students. I think I had 3 students this semester that had heard of Notebook LM or used it. That was it. I think in the AI class, so that's another 20 students there. We're talking, I think 1 or 2 there. And one of them was the gentleman that's in the venture college who is a very advanced generative AI user. He's not the average student when it comes to that, but he's actually working on a generative AI kind of tool already. But that, so he's the exception. He's the major exception to the rule. Seems like every semester I get one or two that are really the exception to the rule of the students. Most students coming in, really, they've heard of it. They know what it is. They have different opinions on it, but they really don't know it that well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting there as well.
Maybe high schools haven't adopted it. Their
No, they
parents'
haven't.
generation haven't adopted it.
Sorry about that.
They haven't had a lot of excuses or opportunities or really exposure
Yeah.
to it.
But, like I'm using Notebook LM all the time. It is a great knowledge resource.
Yeah.
A simple thing you can do around the house. How many people have all these different things, or what are they, instruction manuals for their appliances and everything. Almost all that stuff can be found online. Put them all inside of an LLM, the PDFs or whatever, inside of a notebook LM, and now you've got ready access to if something breaks.
It's like a user manual for your house.
Exactly.
Like a searchable user. Oh, I haven't even thought about that. That's so cool. There's so many things, and I know the PDFs out there exist. I'm a huge proponent of every time I get like a physical like how to in a box. I'm just like, what? This exists digitally. Why'd you send it to me? So yeah, just taking all of that's smart.
The other thing I do is when I get new stuff or as I'm working on stuff, I've got a Google spreadsheet with the manufacturer, model number, and I try to add all of those. That way, if I'm having problems and if it's a repeat, I can actually go back to that. I don't have to go over and try to figure out what kind of model my dishwasher is. I've already got that ready to go.
Yeah.
If I have the manual, it's in there. If not, I can download it and add it to that. Oh, yeah, it's so easy.
That's
do you want another fun one you can do with Notebook LM?
What's that?
So with LinkedIn, if you go to your profile, go to the resources button, and you can download your entire profile as a PDF file. Take that and upload it into Notebook LM and have Notebook LM create a video summary about you, or the audio summary about you, the audio brief. It's actually kind of fun to see what it says about you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to try that. I'm a little afraid, but I'm going to try that.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting.
And this just goes back to my my comment earlier about resourcefulness and how soft skills are definitely always going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
My last job, I remember leaving that and like, some technical skill is required, but at a certain point, technical skill cannot compensate for you just being able to interact with people from different professions, different demographics, ages, just all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like AI is just making you so much more resourceful.
Yeah.
Now, like I don't have to know where, if I do the home manual thing, I don't have to know where that manual is.
Yeah.
I have the PDF on my computer.
Exactly.
Yeah. And say you take that concept into the workplace and find a way to make a process or a collection of processes much more easy to use.
Oh yeah, policy manuals, put all that in there. Like
AI did it, but you're the one who utilized that tool
to
create that efficiency. So the better we are at using these tools to create efficiencies, the more valuable we're going to be as people, as workers.
And the other advantage, again, I go back to Notebook LM because I really like the tool.
Yeah.
Everything, and you'll see this in the video, but everything that Notebook LM creates is grounded on your sources. So one of the biggest issues we have is that AIs can be creative or hallucinate.
Sure.
And if you're using Notebook LM, because it's based on your sources, it will still hallucinate from time to time, but it's a lot rarer.
Right.
And it gives you that little number at the end of the sentence. You click on it, it'll dump you into the source that it found it and into the section it's explaining about right there.
Yeah.
So that works really well.
And so if there is a hallucination, they might be quoting something that was already incorrect.
Yes.
It's not that they're necessarily incorrect.
Actually, I hadn't thought about that because, I could actually see that.
Because if everything they're pulling is from other sources and they're citing their sources and something's wrong.
I can't tell you the number of 3D printers I have that come from China that the translation is a little
Oh
wonky.
man, yeah.
I've actually, another thing, so this is an interesting use of AI in general, is because AIs are conversational, you can actually take a manual that was maybe natively written in another language, throw it into the AI and have it translate it. It makes more sense than I'm guessing they're using like Google Translate that's a little bit more direct. It doesn't actually translate to the language, so to speak. It's a little different.
It does like an interpretive translation. Is that the best way to describe it?
Or conversational translation.
Yeah. It's not like here's like, because what you run into all the time when you do translations are, I mean, that's not a word in English.
Yeah.
Or that's not a word in Russian.
Mm-hmm.
And so it tries to find one. But
Right.
AI is a little bit more conversational. So it's like, this is what it's saying, but based on what you're asking
context.
and the context, this is what it means for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, it would be the same as like any other translator.
Yeah.
Like somebody says something and they don't give you beat for beat what that person said, but they're saying this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because the last 3D printer I put together, it had some instructions I wasn't totally sure about. And this is when I found out about this. I was like, I wonder, just took a picture of it and had the AI translate it. Made a lot more sense. It was just a couple of the words just didn't work out right, but that worked really well.
Yeah. I wonder if I can make like a translator for my youngest kid. He asked for so many things and it's so cute. And we just kind of wait till he says the 10th time. Mm-hmm. And we're, oh, you want to watch Despicable Me 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our son, my son, when he was about 4, whenever we would leave the house, he would yell, I want to fight. I want to fight. It took us forever to realize he wanted to go to this playground and slide. It wasn't fight. It was slide.
Like, I want to understand you, but I don't. Let's go, buddy. Talk about some of the AI tools you're using in class. You've already mentioned Notebook LM.
Yeah, I use Notebook LM quite a bit. I use the major tools: ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude is used a lot. Gemini for Google. BoiseState is a Google shop. Like we run on Google Gmail, Google Calendar, so it works really well with us because everything we do goes in there. I could just now even Gemini is at the very top of all my Chrome browsers. So I can click on that and say, add this task that's due in 3 hours, and it will add it to my tasks. I've got a meeting with so-and-so on this day, for 15 minutes at this time. It will add that automatically. It knows how to use these tools to interface with. So I use Gemini a lot because we are a Google shop. I have an Android phone. I use Google personally at home, so I use it.
It's an AI assistant that lives in the same environment and has access to the tools in that environment to do whatever you tell it to do. It's kind of like a little butler in that sense.
Yeah, and like on the Android phone, Gemini is my assistant. It's what I think was Google Home or whatever. It's now the assistant. So I use it a lot. So I use that instead of Siri on the iOS. Let me actually go through. So you talked earlier about like the list of apps that I was looking on my phone alone. So I have 16 what I would call native AI apps, and I put 4, but I then went back and grabbed a bunch more. I've got 12 AI, what I call AI adjacent apps. So they interface with AI, but they're not AI native. So like one is like GitHub Copilot. I'm able to play around with programming repositories with GitHub Copilot. It's not the actual AI itself, though. It uses AI as part of for programming, stuff like that. I've got Replit, which is again another application that does that kind of programming. But then I've also got Copilot, which is Microsoft's native AI client. So they kind of fit in 2 different areas. Like I'm using, all of those a lot. 11 Reader, like I mentioned earlier, 11 Reader to be able to. I don't use it a bunch, but I do use it to put in.
It's 11
papers.
Labs.
Yeah, it's 11 Labs. It's their mobile one. Leonardo.ai is a really good image generator. So yeah, Nano Banana inside of Gemini is incredible. It works really well. But sometimes I want more control than what that will give me. I do some graphic art, especially along with my photography. So I want something a little bit more powerful. Suno for generating music because it's just kind of fun.
Yeah.
I think one of the issues I see a lot of people having with AI is they don't just have fun with it. Have fun with it. Music, be able to create music. My brother-in-law, he's created some music that people have actually wanted to like download from him and listen to regularly. He's not a musician. He's been through some crap in life, and he uses art of different ways to kind of allow him to release that that emotion of that. Yeah. Music's one of them. He's also a really good artist, like pencil drawings.
Yeah.
And again, the pencil artist is tactile, but the music is something he is completely foreign to him. But he's able to create prompts and generate the feeling of that music. Or a lot of times he'll write all the lyrics and then just use the AI to put the music behind those lyrics.
Yeah.
And it sounds really good.
I haven't used it. I have thought about the music thing before because I'm not a musician. I mean, I can hold a tune.
I can't even do
I'm
that.
Surrounded by people who are good at singing. I think I just kind of picked that up. Not that I exercise that outside of my car too often. But I play drums. That's also not incredibly melodic. But I have thought about, like, what if I could finally take my inability to create things, but my love of music and knowledge of music and the different artists I've followed and been influenced by over my life and work with AI to generate something. Yeah, I'm never going to tour with it and play on a stage with it, but like those things are kind of like barriers now. Like they're not obsolete. Like, no one's ever going to give up playing a guitar.
Right.
Like that's what they do. Like me and a camera. I'm never going to let AI do photography for me. I'm still going to do it myself. You no longer have that barrier to being able to create the thing that you want to create simply because you don't know how to use the tool.
The gatekeeping of experience goes away at that point. That you're able to do it. Now, are you going to be as good as a singer-songwriter or somebody that's good at that? No, and that's the interesting thing. It's something I talk about a lot in my classes. AI is a force multiplier. Take your expertise and multiply it by AI, and you get a lot better. If you don't have any expertise, 0 times anything is 0. Yeah. So you have to have expertise to create something really good. The issue with that analogy is that really the AIs are very good at a lot of things, and even if you don't know how to do it, it can sometimes create something pretty decent. Yeah. Not always, but sometimes.
So I think also in that practice of taking AI tools and incorporating them into things you already love to do for fun, whatever you're creating, allows you to then go into the business side of things, go into your 9-to-5 or whatever that is, and apply tools in innovative ways. So learn to use it for fun so that you can become a more valuable worker and better with this tool outside.
Yeah. Honestly, expertise comes from use. If you're using it to run a role-playing game or, make up music, kind of going back to photography. I did a photo shoot, a homecoming dance for one of my wife's friend's daughters. And I've not used the AI tools inside of Lightroom in a long time. It will automatically pull out the subject, the background, the sky.
It's so nice.
The new, the AI portrait features where it will literally go through and select the eyes, eyebrows, mouth, teeth, and allow you to adjust, because I would do that manually.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that takes forever.
Yeah.
Now it's 4 or 5 clicks. It's everything selected. I go in and I make a couple of adjustments, usually for around the eyes, especially for younger people. I don't want it to be quite as harsh as maybe for an older person. But I was kind of blown away how quick and easy I was able to get through. However many shots I had, a bunch of shots in probably a fifth of the time that I would normally. That I did when I did the last big shoot like that I did was for my daughter and her best friend's senior portraits about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And
kind of a lazy way to like, I don't know, between here and my last job and work with the military, I don't know how many tens of thousands of photos I've culled through over the years. And masking was usually the difference between a really long edit and a really short edit.
Oh, yeah.
But there was always, you could tell the difference. Like when you've taken the time to like really not touch up a photo, but enhance certain parts and mask things. Like that used to take a long time, but it was always, I don't know if it always paid off.
Yeah.
But like now masking, like you were talking about, those AI tools, it can just go through and be like, these are the things that you'd probably want to mask, and you just turn all those masks on, and now you adjust them individually. And so now you can edit things quickly and to a higher level than you were prior to. And that still takes that human input. I want to talk a little bit about what you're into as we wrap this up. If people are trying to learn more about AI and your research with it, kind of the things you're pursuing. You're the AI fellow here. You have a lot to do with not just AI, but how like we talk about it as a community. Talk about the AI brown bag community. What is it? Is it accessible to students? How do students, the true AI natives, actively participate in this discussion?
Yeah, so the AI brown bag started probably 2 years ago when we were first looking at AI. Our dean, Mark, brought everybody together to kind of have a forum to talk about AI. Like this was not too long after ChatGPT hit the scene. And we were seeing the potential. A lot of us were. So that was kind of the genesis of it. And the next semester, I think Ryan Baxter took it over. And then because of my interest and then taking over the ITM 370 class, I ended up taking over. And I took it over back then and continue to do it. And it's every other week. I try to talk about some sort of topic about AI. Last week we talked about like AI and jobs, like what's going to happen. Dr. Hyde showed some of this research he'd been doing. I put together Notebook LM that people could actually go and query and maybe talk with. It had a ton of resources in it, and that's what we talked about. I've got students are invited. It's Eris. I think Eris Vetter is like one of our students that she arrived last time. She actually talked some during the AI and jobs. She's one of our computer science majors, not even a COBE major, and she was talking about AI and some of her worries about it. And we were talking, especially with jobs coming up. We bring in students like that, and I've had other students show up and come to it as well, and not necessarily even ITM students. Most of the time, faculty. It's obviously designed. It was originally designed for faculty, and we do a lot. We talk a lot about pedagogy and those kinds of topics. But we also have a lot of staff that come in as well who are, who do the regular kind of work. Might be the some of the different administration or different groups come in. Surprisingly, the transportation department at Boise State are very heavy users and very advanced users. Believe it or not, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then also the public comes in. We get different people from around the valley that are either interested in AI or using it. And I could drop a couple of names people may have heard of, like Noah Riley. He does AI processes, and I actually did a guest speaker. I was a guest speaker for his weekly AI, what he calls AI Blueprint. I talked about Notebook LM with his group. He comes in at times. Paul Wilch, who does the AI Unstoppables groups in Boise, it's like a once a month like networking group. He shows up fairly regularly, and then I've got other business people that will show up sometimes, and as they can, they make it here. So I get it. It's a very diverse. I try not to focus on one area. I try to be very broad focused because there's
naturally. I mean, that's
because like here at the college, I'm teaching students how to be ready for the business world. What better way than to bring in business people that are actually using it and hiring these students to talk to us about it, or tell us as faculty what they're looking for, so that we can help teach the students those skills. Yeah. So I really do try to bring all these different people together. I try to make it as broad as possible.
How would somebody go about finding a list or like dates, times, like I want to be involved in this? What's the best way for them to do that in these discussions, to just like show up, like whatever it
Yeah,
is?
show up. So we have a Zoom link. We have it's in person. It's a Zoom. It's actually on the second floor in the COBE building. We have a fairly large meeting room. If you Google it, I know that it's on the Boise State website in our generative AI section somewhere. So if you were to Google it, you can find it that way. I haven't really tried, so I don't know.
I'll put a link
offhand.
some-
If there's a link,
somewhere.
it's going to be easier to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the that's one of the areas that I'm in. Again, I also work, or I should say work, but I do a lot. I do a lot in the community. Like I go to those AI Unstoppables meetings every chance I can get. I'm also and actually one other thing. When I was introducing myself, I didn't mention this. I'm one of the AI catalysts for the state. Every university in the state has an AI representative to basically the Department of Education for Idaho.
Interesting.
And we talk about AI and what are the current topics with teaching it. And every month, I think it's every month, we're giving a presentation for other professors, but I'm sure other teachers would find it of interest on how to use AI. What are the issues with it? What are the ramifications?
Yeah.
I was one of the three of us that did the very first one last month. We have another one coming up on Monday, I believe, is I think the next one. And like I said, about every month we do these. There's not really a good resource right now to find those, and I think that's something we're working on.
Right.
So hopefully at some point we can actually add a link to this information in this video as well, and talk about how to find that.
I hope people listen to this podcast. I think they'll get a lot out of it, especially in this conversation about AI. But I think a lot of people are curious, are concerned, are hopeful, and they're just trying to figure out what's the best place for me to get plugged in, or at least how do I hear about it? How do I just be a fly on the wall during these conversations? And because of the rapid, the exponential growth of this thing, like it's kind of hard to know where to dive in.
Yeah. And honestly, that's, local resources, at least for here, the AI Unstoppables, the brown bag lunches, Hackfort actually has fairly regular kind of meetups as well as part of that community. Downtown at Trailhead.
Oh, yeah.
They have regular events that you can find out about those. I go to those fairly regularly.
Search AI events Boise.
Yeah, lots of stuff on Meetup. Lots of stuff on Meetup, or Dice is where Hackfort's at. I know on Tuesday we have a Boise development group for programming. They had a thing on using AI as part of programming. Mm-hmm. So there's lots of opportunities, but you sometimes it's hard to find out about them.
Yeah.
Honestly, one of the better places is LinkedIn as well. It seems like a lot of that stuff is kind of percolates to the top in LinkedIn. Biggest issue I have with LinkedIn, it seems like I see a lot of them the day after they occurred. So that gets a little frustrating at times. But LinkedIn is another resource. I find out about a lot of stuff that's happening around here.
That makes sense, because it's having such an impact in the professional space. Mm-hmm. Before we wrap up, there's a number of things I want to ask. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Honestly, not really.
Maybe just talk a little bit about what I'm doing. I'm on
Please.
YouTube, to learn about it. I'm on YouTube all the time. Mm-hmm. There's lots of really good people that are talking about AI on there at different levels. It's not just, high. Most of them actually are not a high level. Most of what I see is actually at a fairly easy to understand level, because that's where most people are. Mm-hmm. The amount of people that are kind of going beyond just the basics is fairly small. So if you want to be a content creator and want to reach the most people, it tends to be a lot more introductory stuff. So there is a lot of introductory things out there. LinkedIn, again, good resource. X is another really good resource. Those are probably the three places I find most AI. But I think YouTube's probably the easiest one to find out about it.
Classes you teach, what are they?
So I teach, I'll start from the bottom up. I teach our spreadsheet class in the summer, our BizStats or Biz Apps 105. I teach business intelligence, so it's our ITM 310. It's a basic business course that all business students have to take as they go through the program. And while it is a lot about business intelligence, I do actually sprinkle in some AI, have students do AI challenges. I show them different prompts to use. I actually had a professor reach out to me earlier this week because one of his students did really, really well on his exam, and he got to talking to the student about it, and the student said that he used a prompt that I showed them how to use in my 310 class. And he asked me, what is the prompt so that I can, give it to my students to use. And it's just a simple, I shouldn't say simple, but it's just a flashcard generating prompt where you put in all your information on, that you wanted to give you flashcards about. But what it does is when you get something wrong, it will look at what you answered and take a guess on why you chose that instead of the actual answer. And then we'll give you like a tip on how to remember it better.
Yeah.
And like I said, the student did really well in his last quiz because of that.
That's nice.
Yeah. So that's the other class. And then finally on the AI side, I do teach ITM 370, which is our generative AI projects class. So you figure out, today we're, October 2025, ChatGPT was released November 30th, 2022. So we're almost at the third anniversary of that. And I've been teaching that class now for
6 months in, you started the class.
Exactly.
I think maybe this would be helpful. Give anybody listening who's made it this far, who's interested, give them homework. What's one simple thing that they can do to be more knowledgeable about AI or to better understand what it's capable of, or a way to use it in like their daily life, whether it's for fun, at home or professionally?
That one's a hard one.
We talked about the home thing earlier. There's so many applications.
Like that, or probably one of the simplest things that I use it for all the time is if I see a flyer that I want to go to an event or whatever, I just take a picture of it inside the Gemini app and say add to my calendar, and it will spit it right into my calendar. It has the venue, the time, the location.
As long as it's all of that from it.
Yeah, as long as it's all on it, it'll.
So it's not just like it doesn't just take a picture, but it
does OCR. It
adds the date, and then it's like this is the location.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super simple. Like, it's one of those things that blows most people away that are not even aware of it. So,
there's just so many simple things like that like once you say it, it's like, duh, AI can do it, but we just don't even think about it being able to. And you could already, I remember being in Germany a few years ago, and we were in a part where everything was in German. Like, they're not tourist friendly in that sense. And so we're using Google Translate on everything, just like taking a picture, and so the idea that it can then take that and then just take those details and plug them into a calendar. It's like, of course it can.
So, okay, this is an interesting use case that I don't think most people, even users that use it quite a bit, use much. So if I go into ChatGPT or into Gemini, so I have this little icon right here that allows me to talk to it. For ChatGPT, it's advanced voice mode. But I can go into video, and I can talk to it and ask it questions like, let's see, what kind of camera is this? And what is it doing right now? Why is it on this stand?
Absolutely, I can help with that. So from what I can see, it looks like you've got a camera set up on a stand, and it's probably there to give you a stable shot, basically to keep everything nice and steady for recording. As for what kind of camera it is, it looks like a compact or mirrorless camera, maybe something like your Canon 60D or a similar type of camera. It's definitely just there to give you a good angle and keep everything looking professional.
It's probably because of the lighting that it couldn't tell you exactly what it was.
It's a little...
But I was going to be shocked. It's like, that's a Sony ZV-1.
Here, can you see it better? Can you tell what it is? Does this angle help a little bit?
Yeah, with that angle shift, I can see it a lot better. That definitely looks like a Sony ZV-1, which is a pretty popular little camera for vlogging and recording. So, yeah, it's just hanging out on the stand to give you a nice stable shot. And now we've got the ID right, so that helps.
So yeah, we can use this tool. So you can actually use this. It's not just on your computer. You can use it in the real world with the camera or with the audio. I'll use the audio to take notes on the way into work or kind of noodle through an idea that I've got. And I will have this conversation with it. And it works really well for that as well.
Yeah, I had to take apart a computer recently because we've got a special process in the military for like disposing of hard drives that might have classified, whatever. And so you can do that yourself if you know how to pull a hard drive out of a computer.
Yeah.
These are iMacs, and so they're built into the screen, and I've never taken one of those apart. And so I take the back panel off, I take the screen off, and I just take a picture because I've replaced hard drives in Macs and PCs before, but never in something like this. And I just take a picture with chat and say, where's the hard drive?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's right behind that panel, and you're going to need this size bit, like a Phillips head, to take it out. It like gives me instruction, like tells me where it is and gives me instructions. And so just as a general assistant for, like you've talked about, understanding the world around you, it's phenomenal. Like the number of things you can figure out and that you don't have to wait until you have a moment to like Google it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Kevin, thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I'm really happy we were able to talk about this.
If you liked this episode, don't forget to follow, share it with a classmate, or leave a comment on whatever platform you find yourself. We'd love to hear from you, hear what you'd like to talk about that involves the College of Business and Economics. Do you have something you'd like to discuss on the podcast? Let us know, leave a comment, get in touch. Thanks for listening. See you next time.